Hello there.
General Kenobi.
Oh, yeah.
May the Force.
The Force.
The Force will be with you. Always.
Welcome to Star Wars Uplink, your source for everything Star Wars gaming. Welcome to Star Wars Uplink. I'm your host, Sage Goodwin, and as always, I'm joined by Sydney Laurel. How are you doing? Tired?
You don't want to know. We're going to need to go get some coffee after this, because...
Oh, boy.
Wow.
What sucks, too, is today we're obviously going to be talking about Obi Wan Kenobi. The first half of the show is going to be about the first episode. The second half is going to be about the second episode. We're going to dive deep into it. We're going to give first our overview thoughts on the show, spoiler-free, both episodes, and then we're going to go into the first episode, not really keeping in mind spoilers or anything like that. We're going to be pretty open, and then the second episode, the same thing there. But you'll be able to get the first kind of overview, spoiler-free stuff about the show in just a bit. But some context of it. What sucks is, so we woke up at 1 a.m. to watch the show because it launched at 12 a.m. Pacific time, which is 1 a.m. our time. I also saw this thing that said officially launched like 9 p.m.
Where?
But I was asleep by the time that they posted that on Twitter.
What?
Yeah. So
What
we
the
could have watched it at 10 p.m. But yeah.
Yeah,
Sadly.
this guy fell asleep. This kid did not.
Yeah, I went to sleep at 8:30 p.m. and woke up at 1.
My
and
body
she
does not do that.
Yeah, no.
And I had lots to do, so I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna power through the whole night. Because if I attempt to sleep, it's like a nap, and then I'm gonna wake up really groggy. But then by the end of the show, I'm gonna be like awake. And body's like, oh, guess we're good. And
It's time to just do the day at 1 a.m.
2:30.
2:30, yeah.
But
so we watched both episodes of the show. We started it at 1. I rolled out of bed, put my blanket around my shoulders, and
no, you just literally rolled out of bed with the blanket.
Yep.
Just like,
and then went to the couch and we started it. I'll put up a picture of what we both look like. That's what they took. She's in her fuzzy robe and I'm just in my blanket like,
not alive. You're
Yeah.
not present.
Nope. I was there to watch the show and go back to sleep.
So we'll see what we glean from our very
I remember it
groggy
very
state.
well.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Like mentally, I was there.
I'm not separating the individual.
Before I fell
stories very
asleep,
well.
I made the intentional, I had to file it away in my brain of this was the first episode and this was the second episode.
No, I didn't do that. I was just like, okay, bad.
Basically just one episode.
Yeah.
So let's jump right in and talk about our feelings of the show so far as a whole, spoiler free, and then our thoughts on episode 1 and 2.
Just you reconsider playing that message for him.
It's a really weird filmmaking style. Like the language that they're using for the scenes and the blocking and just how they're telling the story, the way that they're filming it, it's very wide open. Like the aperture is very wide open. You see everything. It's not very cinematic.
No, not at all.
It's almost like what I would describe it as is like if you made an extended universe book into a show. Like it's got that feeling. Like you can get away with a lot of things in a book format or a comic format that you can visualize it in a way that feels more realistic than it actually would be in real life. And then you get to see it and it's like, interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it definitely felt closer to home. You know, just as in like I could have it feels more homemade than it did than it feels cinematic.
Mm-hmm.
I'll put it that way. Something I noticed. Okay, we're on the planet Tatooine.
Yeah.
Why is everyone so clean?
Yeah.
It was so clean.
It's a weird combination because it's 10 years after the Order 66. It's kind of like the peak time of Obi Wan on Tatooine. He's been there for 10 years. He's been basically doing the exact same thing. but it's like they're trying to pair the feeling of the prequels with the feeling of original trilogy, but it doesn't do either very well.
Honestly, I wouldn't even say that. I would say they're just doing their own thing. It feels like a round set to me. Like it feels like we're on this set.
Yes,
like,
that is a very good point. Yeah,
the photos that we were talking about and how we're like, it just feels like they didn't put anything like to make it blend.
Yeah,
like it just feels like they literally put a camera up on this round set and they just went, and that's it. That's what we're seeing.
Yeah,
I don't know how I feel about it.
That is, it very much feels that, and I was responding to Dinko's tweet and his overview about it, and I had kind of the same thing. It's like the blocking too. Blocking and filmmaking is where people are in relation to the camera and their paths, and to have this like clear experience to make it feel alive. Blocking is the main character goes from here to here. You kind of know where the vibe is like. They're going for one direction. And they failed at this in the prequels. If you notice the lightsaber fights in each take, they stop and then they start as soon as the camera starts rolling. It's like they told everyone to stay still until it started rolling. Like it felt very like, even there's this one scene on a sign on the city planet, Dayu, and it literally is stationary and then it moves. Normally in filmmaking, what you want to do is, if you're going to have a moving shot, it's in that motion already, right, or it's flowing, like you're going to move from one direction and then to another. It's not like stationary and then move. It's a very uncommon and amateur way to filmmake.
Yeah. It really kind of makes me wonder if that's why they had to push back the date. Because they're just like trying to catch up with editing or something. I don't know.
I'm not sure.
I don't know what the deal is, but it feels techie and yet homemade all at the same time.
Yeah. Like they've got these huge sets, but they don't use them very well. It feels very much like it's on a stage.
And I have gripes about costumes, but that's because I work with fabric.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm pretty sure his pants are from like Forever 21 or something. Anyway.
What's like your spoiler-free overview?
I think the story's really interesting. I'm surprised they went with it, which I don't know. I can't say much more than that other than for spoilers. Yeah. So it's really interesting story. I'm just thrown off. Like I don't know that I'm in Star Wars.
Yeah. Ewan McGregor is incredible.
Oh yeah. Obviously. I mean, I'm here for him. So I think we all are. Yeah,
literally. Just get rid of everyone else and just have him like doing his daily tasks.
Can I just Tatooine. Yeah, like I just want to watch him. Like that's all I want to see is him.
Stop cutting away.
Yeah, we're cutting away to different planets and I don't want it. Just stop.
Yeah.
I just want Obi-Wan, and I just want to feel all of his feelings because that's what I'm here for.
Yeah. Okay, now we've got our spoiler-free thoughts.
Wait, did you say your thoughts?
Yeah. I mean, that was basically the preamble were my thoughts. It was just like very amateur in a lot of senses. They're using very technical, like they're all about that aspherical lens. Doesn't really work wide. They're using the lens. Aspherical are really cool. It gives this really very filmic look. But the thing with those lenses is they don't. The main reason you use them is for the bokeh, and if you're shooting wide open, it just makes everything look worse. Like it doesn't have a lot of crispness, and it doesn't have it adds a weird flavor to it.
Yeah, I'd say that's kind of where we're at. There's a weird flavor to all of it.
And by the end of this show, we may end up liking it. But starting off, it's
hard to get into.
It's a different storytelling language, and you have to learn it.
Yep.
And it's very unnatural in the sense of everything else that we've gotten, where it's like, no, this is the storytelling language of Star Wars. This is like, it's not really that.
Yeah.
So, But now, spoiler-filled discussion points.
Let's talk.
First episode, we get the overview of him on Tatooine.
Mm-hmm.
We get him like living his life. He's going and doing the repetitive tasks. We see him buy, it's super cute.
Yeah.
Buy a little toy that Luke uses in A New Hope. It's that little like ship. It's on that little stand. Super cool. Then Owen sends it back. There is another Jedi on Tatooine that's been hiding, and the whole thing with the Inquisitors is they don't hunt Jedi. The Jedi hunt themselves, so they just have to be around because eventually, once they're around enough like turmoil and just horrible situations, they'll want to intervene.
Yeah, they won't
and
be
then
able to
they
handle.
expose themselves, and they eventually die or get captured.
Pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We see the sassy moment with Owen Lars. So that's interesting. Just kind of seeing their interaction. What are your thoughts on Main Inquisitor Lady? The third sister.
Yeah.
She doesn't have a lot going on.
Not character-wise.
Not character-wise. They're not giving her a whole lot to work with on
Not really.
the script. She's basically a child and is trying to get her way and is going in very stupid ways to do that. You have the opportunity to have such a strong female villain lead. You're making that like that's your ultimate goal as Lucasfilm with this character, and then you're just gonna make her an petulant child.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just jumping in there, chopping people's hands off, and yeah, they took her in a totally different way than I thought they would.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh man, she's just, I don't know. I guess it's interesting because how they have her is extremely insecure and extremely weak, even though she's just pushing everybody around. But that's how it goes. It's when you are making this giant show of force, you're not a strong character. You're not a strong person. You're just a weak-minded person who's just trying to get from point A to point B in the most direct way that you can instead of being creative or, I don't know, interesting. Which is really unfortunate. I really wanted her to be something that I could, like, root for and the villainy
cool.
sort of thing. Be like, yeah, undermine everybody or something. I don't know, but...
Mm-hmm. Nope, she's like literally a child.
Yeah, we just got a petulant little, I don't know, street rat who rose to power because she's strong in the most, like, stereotypical male way possible. It's by brute force and strong with the dark side. Like, come on, I don't know.
They had so much to work with. They didn't do anything with it, sadly.
Yeah, kind of disappointed.
Very cringy dialogue, very cringy acting from everyone.
What?
The main Inquisitor, if he didn't look so stupid, he would be really cool.
Right.
Like, I'm so torn about it because he's delivering his lines very well. I mean, obviously they aren't great lines, but he's delivering them with, like, passion and, like, interesting.
Honestly, I'm rooting for him more than I am for her.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, no, actually, he's got a lot more character, like, at least
mental, and, like, he's got everything put together.
He's got it going on. And we have some history with him, which helps. That always helps, but
still, he just looks stupid.
Yeah.
And the way they all walk is so stiff. I want to hear your thoughts on the costumes.
Okay. Well, historically,
for context, Sydney's day job is working as an alterationist. So she works with fabrics, fixing, making clothes. She's fixed so many of my clothes and made them fit me. Incredibly good at it. Like hand stitched her own Hogwarts robes. Good.
I didn't hand stitch that. I did have a sewing machine.
But you like made your own and they're legit.
Yeah. Well, one part I kind of have to save for the next episode because I know that comes up later. But that one of the first scenes where we see the Inquisitors walking down.
Yeah.
And you're talking about how they walked. It's because of what they're wearing.
Uh-huh.
Now, as I was going to say, historically, Star Wars costumes are not the most, how shall I say, like, I don't know, what's the word?
Masterful,
Yeah,
well
like
put
they're
together.
not the most, like, high quality, realistic.
They literally used like Target white boots for the stormtroopers in the 70s because that's all they had.
Yeah. But because we're getting this, like, all in this very almost flat but two-dimensional, like, I don't know, it's weird. It's the non-cinematic way. Because it's so realistic looking, we're seeing everything for exactly what it is.
Yeah.
So everything just feels
the
cheap.
filmmaking style is not doing it justice.
So it looks like their costumes are just hanging on them.
Yeah.
Like,
it's like if you have like the most beautiful model ever to shoot and then you're like laying on the floor with like a Dutch tilt and it's like,
and you're like, look down, so you got this like double chin going on
like,
or something.
You could be the most
like,
beautiful person in the world and you're not going to look good there.
Yeah.
That's kind of what the filmmaking style does for their costumes and a lot of what this show does.
Yeah. I don't know. Things just feel floppy. They feel kind of, they just feel cheap. It feels cheap and everything's too clean.
Yeah.
And that also adds to the cheapness because when things are too shiny, when things are too...
Yeah. It's understandable that the Inquisitors are that clean, but like not everyone else because like literally everyone else. I mean, why is Obi-Wan so clean? And they're like, you stink so bad.
When the Jawas are saying, "Ugh, I could smell you a mile away," I'm like, have you seen that beard? Excuse me?
Manic. Like, I wish my beard could be that good, and he hasn't kept it.
It's so beautiful.
His hair is perfectly pomade. He doesn't have like a speck of dust or any blemish on him at all. Even after working in the Tatooine desert,
with
holding fish and cutting gigantic monsters from the sand.
Even his apron is clean.
Yeah, he's like wiping stuff on his apron. And it's like, dude,
with
you
an
literally had
extremely
nothing
clean knife.
there.
It's like, I'm not buying it. Even the fish is clean.
Yeah.
What's going on? Like, there's no juices. There's nothing. It's just this beautiful brick of like sushimi or something. Like, what is this?
The most beautiful salmon ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's a
it's a disconnect.
A disconnect, yeah. There's a tonal disconnect is how I'll put it.
Oh, the time I really saw it, as far as like the clothing goes with being clean, is when you're like getting that close up of him watching Luke.
Yeah.
I'm like, where's the dirt? Where's the dirt? Where's the dirt?
You rode on a Star Wars camel into the desert for like hours.
Not to mention you were flying in an open car. I don't know what transport thing.
Yeah.
With dust flying, and also the wind is not strong enough for that. I'm assuming they have something to help buffet or I don't know what the word is.
Buffet.
Buffet?
I think so.
Buffet?
Buffeting, yeah.
If you think of Tuffet. Anyway.
Buffet.
Yeah. It just, I don't know. Like, people are talking. It's like, if you're going that fast in the sand world, I think you're just going to get a lot of sand in your mouth. And that doesn't seem like nice. And it's just like, their hair is just like kind of moving. Like there's a fan on them. Come on. How fast are we going here?
It's very studio.
Yeah.
It's very, we're still learning the technology. Like we have this really cool LED screen thing, but we don't know how to use it very well yet to tell the stories that we want to tell. I do want to say the opening recap for the prequels and Obi-Wan. Oh my gosh, that was so good.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. That was like
all of the best moments of the prequels. So good.
Oh, we have to talk about, I think it was in this episode with the younglings.
Yeah, the opening scene with the younglings.
So I guess they're just referring to the fact that there's still other Jedi out there.
Yeah.
I just thought it was interesting. I feel like they're going to come back to this. I mean, they're probably always going to come back to this. Can we talk about the guy The Jedi guy that they're chasing.
That's in episode 2.
That's what?
No.
No.
Yeah, that's the first one. The weird guy.
Little teenage beat bopping around. How does he know Obi-Wan's there? How?
Yeah.
How? Tell me.
He's like cut himself off from the Force.
Yeah.
How does he just like appear in the darkness?
Yeah. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me. Like, come on. Either Obi-Wan's not doing his job.
Yeah, how could a wimpy Jedi who just revealed himself in front of the Inquisitors?
God, it makes me so mad.
To find him and the quiz what? Yeah, I did like how dark they went. Like they actually showed him just hanging there dead.
That's impressive. And they're showing people's hands being chopped off, which is something.
Like they're going pretty hard, which I appreciate. I think it's good that we see those consequences because, like in Star Wars, we don't normally see those consequences of things. So that's really good to see.
Yeah. I don't know. I just have a lot of questions about that guy because, like, why? And like, it doesn't even feel like they've met before.
Yeah.
Because he's like, no, my name is Ben. My name is Ben. Stop talking to me. Leave me alone. I'm not here. You can't see me.
I like how he's hiding and it's like in the middle of the open because all of the characters and like the background characters are like they're all like circling this open field. Like they're all right here and all the action people are right here. Like they're just in the middle. They're not doing anything. They're just there. It's like, again, we'll get into this when we talk about the second episode, but it's like there's no one there. Like it feels so empty.
It does. It feels kind of soulless. We're literally just hanging on.
It's like I see like there's a lot of people, but it doesn't feel like there's a lot of people.
We are literally just hanging on Ewan McGregor.
Yeah, literally.
To just bring all the soul.
That's how I would describe the prequels. Is literally the thing that made them good was Ewan McGregor.
I mean, I would disagree because of all my nostalgia for the films, but yeah. I
think that's about it that we can talk about in the first episode. We'll have like a follow-up episode once we get all your feedback. We'd love to hear your thoughts and comments in the comment section if you're watching this on YouTube, or contact Uplink Podcast if you're listening to this on the podcast feed, or at Uplink Podcast or at Star Wars Uplink. We'd love to hear you on Twitter as well. But now let's take a little bit of a break and we'll be back to talk about episode 2. This podcast is a production of Uplink Media Group. Uplink is a podcast network dedicated to highlighting the love and experience of gaming and pop culture. Check out our other shows, The Battlefield Show, Star Wars Uplink, and The Forge, the Halo Infinite podcast, as well as our YouTube channels for even deeper dives into Battlefield, Star Wars, and more. YouTube.com/Uplink Podcast and StarWarsUplink.com.
Only different in your mind. You must unlearn what you have learned.
So we've got episode 1 that kind of set up the structure of things. We see. Was it the first episode that we get Bail, or is it the second episode? I think it's
to get them, but the first one, right?
I think they start mentioning it. Yeah, it's the first episode. He pops up that little scanner thing, and they're like, "Oh hey, Bail Organa, Leia. Leia's actress."
Are we ready to talk about her?
Let's do it.
Okay.
You
go.
love her so much, but she's so frustrating at the same time. Like it's like if you have a 10-year-old little girl,
oh my gosh,
they casted her and like wrote her perfectly. That's exactly how young Leia Organa would be.
Yeah, 100% spot on. Like honestly, kudos.
Especially like a young actress. Like,
I know.
Oh my gosh, so good.
She's doing great. I'm so impressed. I'm still out of it because it doesn't feel right.
It's a weird situation where it's like you have this once in a lifetime moment to tell Obi-Wan's story, and then you're like, but hey guys, Leia's here. Let's talk about Leia.
Yeah.
So it's a struggle from a storytelling aspect of that. Like, man, I really wish they just went pure Obi-Wan and they found another way instead of like tying it to Leia.
Right, because she's the reason he has to leave. Which I think it's like, oh, true.
And then
that
it
makes
almost kind of
sense,
breaks
but-
the continuity a little bit in terms of like, oh yeah, my father spoke of you from the Clone Wars. You served my
forgotten
father in the
about that.
Clone
I
Wars.
was trying to remember what all was said in that message.
Yeah. Long ago, you served my father in the Clone Wars, and now it's like she doesn't know who he is.
Right.
And like with how
Dang it.
cognizant she is of everything and how like just sharp as a tack she is, there's no way she would forget that.
Yeah, she's not going to be like, my dad talked. No, she's going to be like, yo, you saved me. Please do it again, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And it's not just me this time. It's kind of the whole universe. So, yeah.
So
Yeah. So
love her as a character. It feels really weird to jump out of Obi-Wan's story to have this moment. It is a good motivator to have him leave his location. I like how dead set Obi-Wan was to like, sorry, buddy, you got to find someone else.
Yeah.
And that's another thing too, is like the Inquisitor lady. What is her name? The third sister. I can't remember her name. Third sister is using her to how I'm not sure they found the connection, but
yeah, I really don't know either.
Like, how does that work? And it seemed early on before they even knew anything, because they didn't know Obi-Wan was on Tatooine, because third sister's like, get me off of this planet, I want to go hang Obi-Wan, it's been 10 years but I'm still hung up on it because I'm a little child that wants something. So you have that, like, that storyline.
Yeah.
It's accurate, right?
Yeah.
Also, Flea,
Oh gosh.
I think this is hilarious, and most of the people watching this show won't realize who he is, but he's one of the band members of Red Hot Chili Peppers. I think he's the bassist or maybe the drummer of Red Hot Chili Peppers. Flea. What? He did really good, but it's like, I was looking at him, was like, I have seen this dude before, and I know he's not an actor. And then I was like, that's
so
Flea
random.
from Red Hot Chili Peppers.
So random. Like, why? You couldn't find anyone else.
So weird.
What? Yeah. No, I knew him, but I didn't know him. Like, I still don't really know who Flea is, but I knew of him, and I knew he was not an actor. Like, you just know it. You see him, you're like
he sticks out like a sore thumb.
Yeah. Which
He's got like the Star Wars Hawaiian shirt on. He did a really good job.
Yeah.
I think it was just so funny. Like, if you know who he is, it takes you immediately out of it. It's like, what is he doing in Star Wars? What?
Oh, to go back to the Leia thing, though. Yeah, I love her. I also don't like her, but that's because she's a child. And I don't know. I'm really surprised that they're doing this. I'm really surprised that they're bringing in more kids. Because the last time we had a kid, like we talked about last time,
The
it didn't go
internet
very well.
hated him.
Yeah. I think she's great, though. However, they try really hard to make her look like she runs fast.
She's so slow.
Why is she so, like, okay, did no one tell her you are running for your life?
Yeah.
Run, child, run.
I think that's another one of those things is like, we have a small set, so we're going to have to run slow so we can cut in between the same set and change the backgrounds of our LED screen thing.
And that whole chase of them
So stupid.
capturing her.
So, like, literally one of the dudes runs, like, runs into a limb as he reaches for it and is like, oh.
Yeah. I literally felt like I was watching very old Power Rangers.
Power Rangers was so much quicker than that, though.
Well, because they had better blocking. Like,
Yeah.
they had much better camera movement and stuff.
Uh-huh.
So,
Because they were shooting on location most of the time.
yeah.
Or they had a much bigger set.
Yeah. Anyway, it felt like, no, we should have just snatched her up. And we didn't need that whole cheesy moment.
No. It
Why
would have
did-
been much better if they were just like, scoop.
Yeah. It just felt like they were stretching it out to
But
get
then
the
she
45
could run away
minutes.
from Obi-Wan really slow, too.
So then we had the chase moment there, you know?
Exactly.
Like, oh, gosh. Yeah, and he's, like, practically walking.
Uh-huh.
Although it does make it believable that he would actually be able to, like, follow her.
Yeah.
Because you're like, oh, man, she's kind of, like, she's booking it, and she's getting, like, around things. But then
Yeah.
you just see him, he's just like, Leia,
Uh-huh.
wait, Leia, come on. Come back, Leia. Leia.
Yeah.
And why does he say Leia so many times? Ah.
Yeah. I love that they're on. So the world is Dayu.
Dayu.
And I think it's DIYU. There was an entry that was set up the same day that Obi-Wan dropped. It's like someone trying to like fill out the information so they can have it up first or whatever. But there is an existing planet called Dayu. It's in Hutt space. It's one of the moons around Hada. So that would be the location that they're around, which is cool. Really grungy, very cyberpunky. Not Coruscant, but close. I was really hoping
we're gonna get.
Yeah. Yep, exactly. Hopefully we get something more. I think Andor. I haven't watched the trailer for Andor yet, but apparently it looks pretty epic, and a lot of people are really excited about it. But that's a story for another day. Next episode, we're going to be talking about everything that got announced in Star Wars Celebration. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Make sure you subscribe for free wherever you find podcasts and a YouTube channel. But
there's still lots more to unpack in the second episode.
There is. Like, it's shorter, but it's
Did we go over our like general non-spoiler? I think we just jumped in.
I think we did just jump in. We did our general overview of both episodes.
Oh, okay.
In the first of the podcast.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought we were doing like general overview in the first episode and then general overview about the second episode.
No, just
okay.
all of it.
Good.
Yeah. We're just going in.
Let's go.
Much more exciting episode. A lot going on. Kumail Nanjiani's character is super awesome.
I actually really like it.
So funny.
Definitely added to it. It's like, oh my gosh, there's another soul in this place.
Yeah.
Like,
it's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's so funny. He like, one, I love him, but also it's like, man, he takes me out of it immediately because it's like, this guy's in Star Wars. I know him.
Yeah.
I know him.
Seeing him and Obi-Wan.
It was so funny because you've got like the stoic, intense Obi-Wan, and you've got this just completely joking and taking advantage of the situation. He's pretending to be a Jedi. And
yep, it's good.
And then you have the third sister that's going around and telling all the bounty hunters about Obi-Wan. Grand Inquisitor finds out. Grand Inquisitor wants to tell... the whole thing of the show is Darth Vader is looking for Obi-Wan. Anakin Skywalker is actually alive, and he's looking for Obi-Wan.
What?
So that's the main motivation of the whole show. They need to get rid of Leia as soon as possible because it doesn't make sense for Leia to be there, because if Leia's there, then Darth Vader would have a higher likelihood of knowing that she exists, and that breaks canon. Yeah. There's a lot of tightrope walking.
They're already kind of breaking canon here.
Yeah, especially when you consider there's got to be a moment that makes A New Hope's fight with Obi-Wan and Darth Vader make sense, where Darth Vader says, "When I left you, I was but the learner. Now I am the master. Only a master of evil, Darth." Like, they need to do something that makes sense. Otherwise, it's like, what?
Yeah.
So
it's interesting because with the Grand Inquisitor, it really doesn't feel like that is the mission. They're just trying to find any little remnants.
Yeah.
It's like the Grand Inquisitor already thinks
they're trying to
done.
Yeah,
like
they're trying
gone.
to find that's a good point. They're trying to find Jedi and get rid of them. And then also they find out that Obi-Wan is around. They are really close to finding Obi-Wan. That's why the third sister wants to find Obi-Wan, because she feels like that would make her so much more legitimate as like a taken more seriously, given bigger roles and all of that fun stuff. But she acts like a child and it's super annoying.
Yeah. And she kills him. In theory.
She stabs the Grand Inquisitor.
Yeah. Who thought that was a good idea?
Why?
I don't know.
He's in the trailer and other scenes, right?
I don't know.
I can't remember.
I think so. I think there's like a
Doesn't
meeting
Rebels
scene.
happen after this? Because Rebels is closer to A New Hope. And Grand Inquisitor is all throughout Rebels, right?
Yeah, so he's alive. We have to assume he's alive.
We have to assume he's right? I'm so confused.
Yeah, I know.
That's why do that? Why?
That is such like a
if
horrible
they're gonna
move.
Bring
if
him
you
back,
want to be respected, you don't try it. Like, you don't stab the leader of your order thing going on.
Maybe he is really dead. I don't know Rebels enough to understand the timelines very well, because this takes place 10 years after Order 66. Does it line up? I don't think this lines up towards the end of his life.
It's too soon.
Right? Because it's closer to the original. Rebels is closer to the original trilogy, if I remember correctly.
Yep. Yeah, because the Rebels are already a thing. I mean, they're not much of a thing, but they're already starting to be a thing.
Yeah.
Which means that Leia's got to be in there. Right?
Yeah, because the creation of the rebellion was on Alderaan.
Yeah.
That was one of the big driving factors of it. And Bail Organa was a huge part of it. I'm so confused.
I just assume that Leia would be a little older than this.
Yeah.
When that all starts.
Mm-hmm. They're playing fast and loose with timelines.
Yeah.
At this point, I haven't.
But we don't know yet. We don't know if this is just a flesh wound or.
It was
a good stab.
It was a
in
good
the
stab.
gut.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Disney, they just bring back whoever they want. So
literally anybody could still be alive. Cad Bane's probably still alive. And so many characters in Star. Like, again, we've talked about this. Characters in Star Wars don't die.
No. They're just temporarily put out of service.
They could be like disintegrated. It's like,
maybe they're all robots.
No, don't start. Also, Third Sister's stupid. Why is she parkouring everywhere?
I don't know.
It's like,
and it's not
and all of
even
the sound
good.
effects
it's
too.
Like,
it's so like.
It's like this is completely unneeded.
I could have walked.
Yeah.
I could have walked very slow and been faster than her stupid sound effect filled parkouring.
Yeah. I don't know.
I hate it so much. Like
if I'm that driven to find Obi-Wan, I'm just gonna force speed my way over there. You know, like,
yeah. I think it sucks too. They're losing. Like they did this with Finn and his character. Like they have the perfect opportunity to highlight a diverse character and do something really cool with him. They could have done something so awesome, but they're giving her such a weak background and weak character, and she doesn't have a good script to act from because she is a very well, respected actress. Like she knows what she's doing.
Yeah.
They don't give her the tools that she needs to do a good job.
Yeah.
And they're losing such an awesome opportunity to have this African American woman villain character in one of the biggest instances of something awesome in Star Wars ever, and they're wasting it. Like it's super sad.
Yeah, I mean we are only 2 episodes in. There's only 6?
Yeah, they're only 6.
So we're
a third
of it in. I don't know. I don't know.
I hope she becomes. I hope they give her what she needs to be an impactful character.
This could just be her first little climb up to being interesting. I don't know.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, me
please make it good. It's. I mean, you have Ewan McGregor carrying this show on its back already, and then what?
We have to talk about Fontaine. Fontaine. Is that her name? Dang it! I don't even know what her name is. I meant to look it up. Yeah.
Who?
Okay.
I'm unaware. What's going on?
The reference. There was a short little reference to Obi-Wan's potential love interest.
Oh, Satine.
Was it Satine?
Yeah.
Okay. Satine.
Yeah.
That one.
I
was kind of close. Don't at me. Yes, Satine.
Yeah, I really like that.
Me too. It's like, oh, that's good. And I think it's really good to see that too, because he's just in this completely insecure place where he just doesn't know really who he is anymore.
Yeah, he's failed.
Just,
he failed, and he doesn't feel confident. He feels like his only place to do anything is on Tatooine watching Luke. But then he's forced into this world that he does not want to be in. He's forced into a situation he does not want to be in, but he feels obligated to do. It's super the motivations for his character are so good.
And he's tailing around a little, very outspoken little child.
It's so
just
funny.
Great.
Yeah,
the dichotomy there is.
It's so good.
So good. And then for him to compare her to Satine.
Yeah.
It's cute.
Mm-hmm. It's like, oh yeah, he's got a heart still. He's still in there. Obi-Wan's there.
So fascinating. So fascinating to see this not like seasoned Jedi still thinking about the attachments.
Yeah. Oh, so good.
So good.
Really, I mean, I'm there for Obi-Wan. We're obviously going to keep on watching the show. I think there's a lot of potential there. They're taking turns left and right. We end with Darth Vader and his back to tank. Super cool. Or his pod
There's like that
thing.
connection. There's still like this Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan realizes that Anakin Skywalker, his brother, who he left on a lava planet, is still alive. Oh, it's so good. Very strong closing. I think there's some interesting things that they can do. We'll see. They've played it somewhat safe a lot of the show so far. Only 2 episodes in, though it is quite a big percentage, like 33% of the way through. And we're already kind of having these discussions of like, feels interesting. Like, I think that's why could you imagine if it was just the first episode?
Oh my gosh.
I don't think people would have been into it all that
I don't
much.
think so either.
Yeah. I think it was a wise move.
It would have been like, okay, interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was a wise move because all the big stuff happens in the second episode. That's what's going to keep people hooked.
Yeah.
There's nothing in the first episode that's like, ooh, I got to keep on watching.
Yeah, it's a lot of setup. And yeah.
But I think with that, would love to hear your thoughts. As always, let us know your thoughts on the show. What did you love? What did you hate? Do you agree with us? Do you disagree with us? We'd love to hear your perspective on things. Comment down below. Leave us a email, contact@uplinkpodcast.com, Twitter, Instagram, all the places. Let us know your thoughts. We'd love to hear it, get that feedback and that discussion going. You can subscribe to the show for free, wherever you find podcasts, YouTube, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play. I already said that. Spotify, SoundCloud, YouTube, all the places you can check out the show. We'd love it if you could leave us a review as well on your favorite podcast app. Helps us out a ton. Gets your feedback. It's a great free way to support the show. Share it as well. We'd love to for you to share the show with your podcast, Star Wars friends, fans, all the people.
Yes. Yes to all of it.
Yes. As always, thank you so much for listening, and may the Force be with you.